My name is JeanPaul Paula. I am a creative director based in Amsterdam. I work a lot, and I do a lot of different things within the fashion industry. I also consider myself a activist. The activism that I partake in mostly are Black Lives Matter, obviously, and Trans Lives Matter. The reason why I say these separately is because for a lot of people, trans lives are not the same as Black lives. And I really, really want to make sure that I really say that and that trans people are heard and seen. I would like to introduce everyone that's here today to Cakes da Killa. Yay! I'm sorry, I did a little intro for myself. But please, please, please tell us something about yourself in your words. Yes, please.
I'm a Libra, functioning alcoholic. I make music, I travel, and I try to give positive energy.
And he does, yes. I would actually like to get into it immediately, especially into the music. Yes.
Just dive right
in.
in.
Hardcore, babes. Let's go.
Okay, I'm
no
ready.
condom. Let's go. Actually, use your
Always
condoms.
condom,
Protect
condom.
yourself.
Whoa,
Yes.
whoa, whoa. Always a condom.
Protect yourselves. In this conversation, we will not be using a condom. I would like to talk about Hinduism. Okay. Yes. I would like to know what it meant for you in that time to not only be able to make that music, but also set it out into the world and travel the world doing that.
So with making mixtapes in New York a long time ago, before queer takeover, it was kind of like the Wild Wild West. So I was doing a whole lot of things to get money to put out my music. But since then, the landscape of music has changed. And what was that, 2 or 3 years ago, I was able to get a distribution deal and put out my first album, Hedonism. So yeah, it was kind of like a full circle moment for me with all the tours I've been doing. And yeah, I was happy to put something out on that platform. And it's always good to have a white man give you a check and be like, do your art, you know, because it's like, oh, this is cute, you know? So yeah, that was that moment for me.
When that came out, I actually met you the year before at Milkshake in 2015. When that came out, did it actually change a lot for you as an artist in terms of being able to get your art out there?
Because a lot of music is already on streaming sites, to put out an album really didn't change anything for me necessarily, but it was mainly like a learning lesson about dealing with playlists and dealing with, this is gonna be a tech conversation, by the way.
It's just to talk about
if there are any rappers or singers in the audience, but basically, I got to learn more behind the scenes information about releases and rollout and dealing with PR and dealing with radios. Basically, everyone is a dickhead. So that's basically was the lesson in that. Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah.
As a Black gay artist, in terms of being able to get more bookings and being able to work on a bigger platform, do you think that releasing your music on the platforms that you have, that it's helped that and also magnify the reach for you?
Yeah, I think anybody that's an artist has to always put themselves out there constantly. I mean, we're not living in a world where people have to be slaves to record labels. You can be independent completely and, you know, start a YouTube channel, post weird videos on Instagram and get a following. So for me, I'm constantly making content, doing what I have to do to constantly stay relevant, shaking my ass on Netflix shows. Yeah, anything to catch a bag at the end of the day. Getting on a flight the next day to go to Amsterdam to do this. You gotta just chase the bag at all costs because I don't have another job. So this is the life. This is liberal arts. So yeah.
To get on the Netflix that you were talking about, you're one of the stars of Rhythm and Flow.
Yay.
Yes,
Which,
on
I don't know,
Netflix
do they
now.
have it out here?
Yes, we do, because we have Netflix.
So definitely watch Netflix, Rhythm and Flow.
I would actually recommend it.
They kicked me off the show already, but still watch.
It's still worth it. I would still recommend
Just
it.
watch episode 1 and 2. Just keep watching the episodes I'm on.
What is it that you took from doing that?
Well, obviously, if you're filming something from 9 o'clock in the morning till 12 o'clock at night, it's really stressful. There are a lot of personal things that I learned about myself, like I'm really a bitch. I knew that, but it was like I really realized I'm a bitch. And I also realized that I'm more guarded than how I think I am. But overall, it was a really good experience, meeting a bunch of different artists and, just vibing with younger generation of rappers, because I've been doing this for maybe like 8 or 9 years. So to see what the new generation is giving from talent across the states was really, really eye-opening and just, cute. It was cute.
I would say that it was way more than cute to see.
All right, it was gorgeous.
I mean, for me to see...
It was beautiful.
I mean, yes, I think that it was.
I'm on 2 episodes, by the way.
But still, to have 2 episodes of a openly gay...
On Netflix.
An openly gay black man on Netflix. Yes, honey, to have somebody... In our country, there's actually not that many people on the TV.
There's not that many black people or gay people in this country. Which one?
Well, we have a lot of gay people, but like to have someone to be able to look up to as a young gay boy, to have somebody that is openly gay who can look Cardi B in the face and say, yes, I'm gay, without shame and without any remorse. I think that that's incredibly empowering.
I mean, yeah, I feel like, I hate the word visibility, but it is very important. I mean, because I was the type of kid, like I came out in the 3rd grade, so I came out when I was like 8, because I didn't give a fuck. My mom was like, are you gay? And I was like, yeah, Mom. Fuck you, you know what I'm saying? Not fuck you, but like, I was ready to run away, basically. But that's because I was one of those kids that was actively searching for myself. Like, I would watch documentaries about Stonewall on PBS. I would read books, about the gay life, you know what I'm saying? So I actively searched for my lineage and my history. But everyone doesn't have that knack or like that time. So I think it is good to be able to have that visibility for future generations, and I try my best to be a good example as a functioning alcoholic. I try.
One of the things that I really took from watching actually the first episode of the show is what Cardi B tells you after she's kind of like, I like what you're doing and I'm into this. Are you ready to be this first gay person? Do you feel that it was right for her to say that you would be the first gay person too?
Yes and no. I feel like obviously I'm not the first gay to do anything, so no. But I mean, in the scope of Cardi B's world, I mean, do we know who Cardi B is? She probably really doesn't know a lot of gay rappers, if we're gonna be honest. So, in her reality, that was her truth, but that wasn't necessarily my truth. And so, I mean, yeah, it is what it is. Hopefully that opened her mind to Google gay rappers. I don't know her search history though.
The fact, or at least the feel within the rap industry, that there's no space for homosexuality. Because obviously we've looked at people like Queen Latifah and Missy Elliott over the years and accepted the type of masculine
Did you
touch.
just out Queen Latifah and Missy Elliott?
Queen Latifah
What
has
is this
a
panel
wife.
about? Is this outing
Queen
panel?
Latifah has a wife. Or she has a girlfriend.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, I've seen pictures of them together. It's fine.
Okay, what is the question? I'm not outing anyone, by the way.
The question that I have is very much how active do you feel that actual aggression or actual exclusion of gay people within rap is?
I don't really think there is exclusion, especially in this landscape of music, because I feel like if you have the money, you could do whatever the fuck you want to do. Like, we have examples of like Jaden Smith, Tyler the Creator.
You just out Jaden Smith, excuse me?
I'm pretty sure Jaden Smith outed
I don't know if Jaden is gay, though. I don't know if he said that.
I'm pretty sure Jaden Smith outed they themselves, or however Jaden Smith identifies.
Okay.
I can't keep up. Anyway, I just feel like at the end of the day, you could be whatever the fuck you want to be if you have money. Like, even when you think about these countries where it's like illegal to be this or that, if you're rich, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. So I feel like money plays a big part in it. And if we're all being honest, there has to be gay rappers. They're just not out. So the conversation is not about gay people having space in hip-hop or country music or pop. The conversation is about out people having space and also effeminate people having space. Because if I was straight passing, which clearly
is not the case,
is not my reality, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So.
But with that said as well, do you feel that there is what would be lacking then in the reason why Cardi B would say such a thing? Why would she, do you feel like there are rappers on the scale right now that are gay that are doing it at a level that is representation, at least, that she was speaking of?
I mean, of course there is, but I don't believe that that's for any genre of music to put people on the pedestal and do that. I look at gay people in the community. Like, Think about how much money gay people pump into Kylie Minogue and Madonna and Beyonce and all these people. I call it like the Barbie doll effect. They want to put all this money into these other acts, but they don't put money into themselves. And I feel like it's kind of fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to look at the hip-hop community to be like, accept me, if I have all these gay people who actually are in my lifestyle. So I talk to my cousins and my brothers and sisters like, bitch, download my music, come to my shows, come to my panels, because that's my community. So why would I want to go outside of that to ask for acceptance?
I applaud that and I commend that.
Thank you.
I fully agree.
And shout out to both of you for coming to the panel.
I would like to ask you about a party that you're doing in Atlanta at the moment. Yes. I would like you to tell us a little bit about it. Is it part of you as a brand, or is it part of you as a movement?
Well, my party, Body to Body, is basically about not putting labels on parties. Like a lot of the times, especially now, people are so set on making things a safe space, which is fine, but I'm also like, we need that tension, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like when you put a label on things, it kind of alienates certain people, because there's a lot of people that don't have the vocabulary to know that they're pansexual or that they want to identify as they, them, or that they're queer. So those people shouldn't feel alienated from wanting to go out and have a cocktail. So for me, the party is just an open to all space for anybody to come through. Just don't come through on no fuck shit. So if you're ever in Atlanta and you want to have a cocktail with me, pull up. I'll put you on guest list, get you a drink ticket, and we could talk, you know? Exactly.
These safe spaces that are actually popping up everywhere now, do you think that it's, do you see the necessity of that? Do you see that in certain places in the world there's...
I do see it. Obviously, spaces should be safe. My issue with safe spaces is, how can you say something is a safe space and when I walk in, I still feel racism? Like, that's my issue. It's like, how really safe is this space if I'm going into a space and the bartender is not serving me? Or like if I'm getting booked for a venue, shout out to, you know, I'm not gonna say the name of the venue, but it's supposed to be a safe space moment, but I feel like I'm being treated like a bouncer. So it's like, how safe are these safe spaces? I would much rather go to a straight club, if that's the case.
To a, sorry?
To a straight club.
I mean, why not? If it's safer.
I mean,
if it's more about the experience
the
of
world isn't safe. I feel like my whole thing is nothing in life is safe. So this whole notion of wrapping people up in bubble wrap, I'm not really about. But I'm also the type of bitch that I'm not afraid to fight. So you know what I'm saying? But that's just my life. Like, I'm black and I'm gay. So I'm already born in this world. I have to fight. So no, I don't really rely on this privilege of every time I go to a space, it has to be a safe space. My reality isn't safe. So no, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, everything has to be this moment, like this cloud moment, because when you interject yourself into these spaces, it's always not meant for you, you know? So that's me. Shout out to the safe spaces, though.
In terms of community, moving between New York and Georgia, do you feel that there's much more of a community feel in Georgia that allows these spaces to kind of be safe as they are, like more of a mixed space compared to New York?
Yes and no. I think for me it mainly feels more community driven because it's more black. So obviously if you're surrounded by people that look like you, it's already a sense of community. Also, I'm at a certain age where I needed to be in a different type of setting, but that's just my story for me. Some people may feel the sense of community in New York. I got to a point in my life where I didn't, so I got the fuck out of there.
Has New York changed that much in the period that you've lived there?
Yes, for me. Some people may not think it has changed, but I think any place has changed. Like, I haven't been to Amsterdam since maybe 2015. Now I'm back, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, places are changing way more rapidly than it was when I was like a kitten, you know, growing up. Like, that's due to social media.
Gentrification.
You know, gentrification. So everything is fucking changing. I'm just trying to keep up, you know, so.
Will Georgia have a big effect and influence on your music?
Absolutely not. I did not move to Atlanta to make trap music. I will always be the cunt doll. I'm always going to do what I want to do sonically, globally, internationally, aesthetically. So, yeah.
So what are you working on now? What can we expect in the near?
I'm currently working on my new album. You could definitely be on the lookout for that. Also stream all my music because I need to pay off my student loans. So definitely just put one of my songs on, mute it, and step out the room. Yeah, I'm doing this panel right now, and I may be performing later. So stay for the party, I guess, if you're into that.
While on TV, I experienced that. Sorry, I'm a judge on
You
Hollis.
said while you were on TV?
You know, you're on Netflix. That's a whole nother level. I'm just
What
on
channel was your show on?
RTL 5.
What's that?
Exactly.
No, I'm sure it was lovely, darling.
It was. I mean, I was on it, so yes, it was.
What was it called?
Holland's
Amsterdam's
Next Top Model.
Holland's Next.
Yes.
Did we watch that? Is that cute? Is that a good show?
Exactly.
I got like
it's for children.
I got a half a nod, and then I got one of these. So I'm like, who's the model? Did somebody win that's like good? Why weren't you a contestant?
Well.
Okay, let's talk about that later. That gave tea. That was tea. Okay.
What I wanted to say is that being on TV, it didn't really open anything up for me. Like the experience of being black and being on TV, especially here, actually resulted in me to getting popularity rates going up on Instagram, and also die off as soon as people would see my politics. As a black gay man who's been on American TV, who's obviously been offered different maybe possibilities after this show, what could you say that Netflix? Let's just say, what did it do for you?
Right.
And then what would you hope?
Well, my experience with reality TV is still kind of fresh. Obviously, I did see an influx in, my following, which is always great, especially in this landscape of music. Like, as I said, I've been touring and making music for 8 years before Instagram was even a thing. But we're in a landscape now where your numbers really matter on social media, regardless of your talent. What I will say is a lot of the times, it's just flat out coonery, basically. A lot of people are pressured to do things that, to me, are not a value of taste. And they do these things because they want to go viral, or they want to start they want basically attention for all the wrong reasons. So I feel like, just probably speaking on your experience, maybe there were things on social media that people were expecting you to do that you just weren't down to do. Like, there are certain things that I'm not down to do. Like, I'll put on a heel, but I'm not going to put on a wig and talk in a broken English accent just to have a bunch of you guys watch the video for me to go viral. Like, I would much rather drink my wine, make my little bops, and do panels. You know what I'm saying? Cheers to that. It just deals with class and just I feel like people consume black people in such a toxic way sometimes, where when you just see a black person that's just comfortable in their blackness and in their message, it reads as being boring. And I'm like, well, what do you think we all do? Like, we all run around with chicken grease on our faces? Some of us do, but some of y'all do too, because everybody likes chicken. So yeah.
Thank you so much for that answer. It was
no
really,
problem.
No, it was really
I had to
thorough.
clean it up at the end.
But it was good. It was good. I very much agree. I very much think that there's many ways to kind of get through to where you would like to go, and this is just one of those ways.
Yeah, and that also applies to everyone. Anyone that's trying to be on social media doing whatever, this is not my space anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's really different.
In terms of being, I kind of feel like I'm starting to sound like Mariah Carey.
In terms of being pansexual.
Well, there you go. How do you see, do you experience an international community as you travel? As you said, over the years you've traveled a lot, you travel with your music.
Yeah. There's definitely a community for me. Like, I have, friends that live in Lisbon, friends that live here, friends that live in Berlin. And I think that just comes with being creative. A lot of creatives are kind of oddballs, weirdos, outcasts, so we kind of do make this community, which is the plus side of things like Instagram and Twitter, because you're able to keep in contact with people that you may meet. So that's the one thing that I do appreciate about, my music and my persona. I'm able to have a really strong network of people that I probably wouldn't have the opportunity to meet. Like, I was just telling you, the first time I saw your picture was on MySpace, and I was like, who is this faggot? Is faggot still a thing I could say?
Yes.
Anyway, I was like, who is this faggot? And it's for us to have this moment now, it's kind of like a full circle moment. So, I do cherish those things,
Of all of the places where you've traveled, your music, do you consider it to be black music?
I think my music is dance music, and it's for people that could dance, or people that try to dance too. y'all are included if you try. My performance and how I carry myself is unapologetically black. But yeah, I think my music is consumed by whoever likes it, so it is what it is. But me as a person, I try to represent black excellence the way I see it.
Do you then also, this is what I was trying to ask, do you then feel this type of community as you travel? As you travel to different countries around the world, do you feel like when you get there, there's a community of...
It depends. Obviously, traveling to a lot of European countries, it's kind of not the case. But I kind of balance that out. Like I might do Afro-punk, which is, a great, meeting, people that look like us that come together. But I kind of try not to think about that. I'm just appreciative for people that like what I'm doing. Like, I'm not gonna shun a bunch of, white girls that come to my show like, why you ain't bring a black girlfriend? Because I'm just like, thank you guys for appreciating what I do. So, love is love,
Exactly. That's
that was
also
really corny.
Well, that's the reason why I asked, because obviously I grew up here, and the majority of the people that I had around me, well, yes, I did grow up here, were predominantly white, and also the spaces that I've been in growing up were predominantly white. I'm very lucky that I feel like in this day and age it's changing a lot. I feel like when I go out now, I'm much more surrounded by a much more multicultural group of people, very different from when I met you, to be honest. And the reason why I ask that is because I feel that when artists travel, especially when they're gay and when they're black, that there's a lot of obstacles that they run into. Rather than being just going from New York to Georgia or New York to LA, as you come through Europe or you go through Asia or South America, are there obstacles that you run into that you're a little bit like, these are things that should not be happening, or this is amazing and I didn't know that it would be like this abroad?
Yes, but I don't put that problem on just abroad, because, I experience problems in New York. I could experience problems in LA. So for me, I don't place the blame on just a continent. It's just ignorance. And ignorance is not just limited to one socioeconomic class. It's not just limited to one race. It's not limited to one sex. I just don't like the shit in general, so...
You keep it moving, yeah.
I keep it moving and cash the check. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Is music the only thing that has the passion in your heart? Or are there other...
Music and witty conversation, a nice cocktail, a flight without a layover, clothes that fit, shoes that are comfortable, and a good fragrance. Like, I love a good fragrance. Those are the things that I'm passionate about. Anything that's really like glam. I'm really into glam. So yeah.
Off of the top of your head, your top three, yes, top three rap artists. Specifically
top three rap artists.
Specifically rap.
Top
yes.
three rap artists. Any like dead or alive, like any.
Dead or alive, it don't matter. Top three.
Myself, and myself. I'm gonna go with myself.
Okay, yes.
I mean, why not? Why not be conceited at this moment?
This is a question. It might be a bit personal, but in your first episode,
Yes, I'm a bottom.
I mean, okay.
How personal are we going here?
I mean, personal in the sense of that I wanted to know this question. In the end, or not, at the end of your freestyle in the first episode, you ask Cardi B to follow you. Did she? Yes, I did. I remember that. You were like, follow me.
I don't know. Maybe we'll have to wait till the next episode. Bum, bum, bum. Fuck, I don't know. No, the answer is no.
She hasn't.
Cardi B has not followed me
Well,
back.
there you go. Then we know for the amount of
That was
support
the
that we can
exclusive.
expect
That was the exclusive.
for everyone on VH1.
Right.
Really?
That was the last question. Your
No,
last
that wasn't the last question. That's just something that I would really like to know.
Once again, thank you guys so much for coming to our living room. This is what happens when you get two black gay people drunk.
Well, this is when we have an hour conversation beforehand, and I know
Wait, this conversation is an hour long? Absolutely not.
Well,
do we have any crowd questions?
The conversation that we had before was an hour long, but we
okay,
can
work.
indeed take questions from the audience if they have any. I hear crickets.
Well, thank you guys so much. I hope you learned something. Once again, this is your girl, Cakes da Killa, or your boy, depending on the cocktail that I'm drinking. Thank you so much, Milkshake, for having me, and shout out to my moderator.
She's doing my job for me.
I love how I just put a bow.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Thank
You did it for me.
I'm jet lagged, so you know.
Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much
problem.
into this insight into what you've experienced over the years. I really do hope that we get to see a lot more of you in the coming years.
We'll stay for the party.
I might
be here.